In this demo, we will show you how to use the Input and Text Area widgets. In Service Studio, we have already a module open with a product detail screen created. This screen already has a form with an Input widget for the name of the product and a Save button to save the data in the database. By selecting the Input widget, we can see its properties on the right. We have the Variable property, which needs to be set to the variable in the scope of the screen that will hold the value in the input. In this example, the Variable property is set to the name attribute of the product being fetched by the screen aggregate. The Input field has other properties, such as the data type expected, the maximum number of characters allowed in case of text, and if the input is mandatory or not. Now, let's add a new input by dragging the price attribute of the product to the form. This creates a new input and label automatically for the price attribute of the product. Let's now see how to do this manually. Drag a new input widget to the form. Let's set the variable property of the input to be the VAT attribute fetched by the aggregate. This is quite similar to what we have for the name and price input fields. For the description, let's drag a text area widget below the name attribute and set the variable property to the description attribute fetched by the aggregate, like we did with the previous inputs. Notice that in this case, the text area has an extra property called text lines. Dragging the inputs manually, the layout ends up a bit different than the one we get when we use the drag and drop accelerator. We won't work on the layout, but let's add 2 bits of text to identify the recently added inputs. Let's publish the module and test it in the browser. Let's open the details of the product. We can see the form displaying the info about the product selected. We can select any of the inputs and type of the information we want. This info will be saved in the variable set in the properties of each input field and can be used in the application.